Spiritual leadership instead of self-compensation. Hi, my name is Asta from Berlin. This is a new episode of Magic Point of Excellence, your podcast. For visionary leaders who are tired of numbing their inner pressure. There are leaders who appear strong, clear, successful, and visionary. And yet, behind the scenes, they are struggling. With food, with alcohol, with chronic stress, with emotional withdrawal, with control, with a nervous system that never truly comes to rest. Many leaders compensate because they feel they have to keep functioning. And at some point, performance itself becomes a form of numbing. Not because these people are weak, but because they have been leading from a place disconnected from themselves for far too long. Visionary leaders, in particular, often carry an enormous amount of internal tension. They hold responsibility, they make difficult decisions, they become the projection screen for teams, clients, and families. And eventually, the body begins to say, I can no longer regulate this level of pressure on my own. That is when coping mechanisms emerge. Overeating, restrictive eating, a glass of wine that turns into a habit, work addiction, perfectionism, emotional detachment. From the outside, everything may still look functional, but internally, the person is slowly losing connection with themselves. This is where spiritual leadership begins, not as a concept, not as an ideology, and not as something mystical, but as a return to wholeness. Spiritual leadership means I no longer lead solely from control or performance. I lead from awareness. I recognize that my nervous system influences my team. My unconscious patterns shape my company culture. My unprocessed emotions create pressure throughout the organization. Many leaders believe they must always be strong, but true authority is not born from perfection. It is born from authenticity. And there's an important distinction here. A team is not responsible for emotionally stabilizing its leader. Employees are not therapists. They are not emotional regulators. They are not silent containers for unresolved leadership wounds. However, a healthy team can provide reflection, gently, clearly, human to human. For example, I'm noticing a lot of pressure in the room right now. The way we are communicating feels tense. I think the situation is asking for more honesty, not as a criticism, but as conscious feedback. Because spiritual leadership also means learning to receive feedback not as a threat, but as an invitation to greater awareness. The truth is that many addictive tendencies in leadership develop when people lose touch with their own humanity, when leadership becomes nothing but function. But people do not follow perfection for very long. They follow presence, integrity, inner truth. Healing begins when leaders learn to reconnect with their bodies, stop suppressing emotions, recognize their limits, integrate nervous system awareness with responsibility, redefine success without self-abandonment. This is spiritual leadership, not soft, not superficial, but deeply conscious. Thank you for listening to this episode. Asta from Berlin says, Auf Wiederhören.